Welcome back. We'll be starting with one of the first lectures on history of geographical thought. We'll be discussing India's contribution today. Now this is a very important topic. There is not much literature that you can find on the India's contribution, and hence we have decided to cover this lecture first. Now considering the Indian contribution to the field of geography, it's very important to note most of the contribution was from mathematicians and astrologers during that time. Again, Indian science divided the study into two aspects, Bhugol and Khagol. Bhugol was the study of earth and Khagol was the study of astronomy. So basically the idea was to understand the earth and the universe. So when the classification was given, it classified the study into three halves. The first was the study of universe, the study of earth, and finally the study of Indian subcontinent, which was given the least importance during that time, and most of the focus was on the study of universe and study of earth. Now there are many sources from Ramayana, Mahabharata, Ved, Puran and the text of Buddhist literature and Jain literature where you have evidences of the works that have been done as a contribution to geography from the Indian perspective. Now coming on to the major scholars, we have four major scholars that we talk about. The first that we would discuss is Varamihir. He was from Avanti, Ujjain, and his basic idea was revolving around three facts. The first was Jyotish, that's the astrology. The second was Ganit, that was Vedic maths during that time. And the third was Sahita. Sahita was the collection of hymns and texts and that were used during the different Vedas. So based on this, he wrote a book which was known as Brahit Samhita, and in this Brahit Samhita, he explained astrology as a key concept. He explained that because of gravity, things fall, and once they have fallen, they remain on the ground. Again, he explained how heavenly bodies revolve around and they are maintained in certain position and certain orbit. The next was Brahmagupta. He again belonged from Ujjain, that was Avanti during that time. However, he lived in Bhinwal in Rajasthan in the court of Harsh. He wrote two major books, one on maths and one on astrology. The one on astrology was known as Brahmaput Samhita, and in this book it was the first time that you had find the evidence of zero. So zero was discovered by India and laid down for mathematical calculations across the world by India, and it was in the Brahmaput Samhita that it was first time explained about the concept of zero. The next text was Khadkagya, and this was explaining the circumference of the earth. He also explained that sun as a major source, and he explained in two aspects, the Dinkar and the Bhaskar. Dinkar means sun as a source of light and Bhaskar means sun as a source of warmth. Again, the term Bhugol, that means the study of earth, has been first given in Surya Samhita, Surya Siddhant, so that was again important. Then two more scholars, Aryabhat and Bhaskaracharya. Aryabhat was the scholar who was born in Kerala, and the first experimental satellite from India was launched in the name of Aryabhat. He worked in Nalanda and he wrote Aryabhatya, and under this book, that was a summary of Hindu maths during that time. The area of the triangles, squares, rectangles, cubes, cube roots, squares were all explained by Aryabhat. He also explained the circumference of the earth, the diameter of the earth, and that was to a very high accuracy to the recent findings. Again, he explained the concept of solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. The next was Bhaskaracharya. He was considered as one of the greatest mathematicians. He worked on number systems and solving the equations, and he wrote the book known as Siddhanta Shiroman. And in this Siddhanta Shiromani, it was divided into four parts. Leelavati, that talked about arithmetic, Bij Ganit, what we call algebra in Hindi. Then he talked about Goladhyay, that was the celestial shape or the globe itself. The next was Graha Ganit. Graha means planets, so mathematical calculations of the planets was under the Graha Ganit. Now as we said, three basic aspects we divided, the Indian scholars divided the study into. the Indian subcontinent, which was Bharat or Bharatvarsh, and it was named after an Indo-Aryan king known as Bharat during that time. However, there is no much evidence about Bharat, but to the history what is depicted is whole of the Indian subcontinent, including the area from Persia and Afghanistan. So this whole region, not just the present day India, was the part of Indian subcontinent, and it was divided into Navkhand or 9 divisions, of which the Aryavrat and Sapta Sindhu, where the 7 rivers meet, were the 2 major regions during that time. Now coming on to the universe, which was known as Brahman, there were 7 top layers and 7 internal divisions, which are known as Patal, and under universe he divided it into 3 halves. The first was cosmology, that is science of universe. The next was cosmogeny, that was origin of universe, and finally cosmography, that was description of universe. When it comes to earth, he divided it into 3 halves: Sil, Bhumi and Asma, that was rock, clay and sand. So earth is made up of rock, clay and sand, which was named by different names in different parts. During that time, the northern hemisphere was supposed to have more land mass. The concept of solar eclipse, lunar eclipse was pronounced, and during this time it was well established that the earth is spherical in shape, and this was proved based on 2 aspects. That first, the sun never sets, so it's just we see that sun is not coming up, or the light is not coming up. It was explained during that time, that is, there is no concept that sun ever sets. And finally he also explained the occurrence of eclipse or grahan. So these were the basic things. Now coming on to universe, there were 4 theories on how universe originated in the Indian context. The first was artistic theory. It explained how gods act as artists and they created different parts of the earth. The next was mechanical theory, again given in Rig Veda, similar to the artistic theory which was laid down in Rig Veda. Mechanical theory explained that earth is made up of one human, and the different parts were as a result of dismemberment of that Adi Purush, and you had sky, moon, sun, wind, which were all formed from that Adi Purush. The next was philosophical theory of cosmology, which said there is a space or a vacuum that exists, there is no sky, no atmosphere, no water, and it's perhaps due to the inherent heat that the universe was formed later on. The next was instrumental origin, which says the gods are instrumental in creation of earth. So you had Agni, which is the fire god, Indra, which is the rain god, Som and Surya, Rudra, and so on. Now coming on to 2 basic concepts. During that time, during the Aryan period, it was believed earth as a center of universe. So earth was considered as a center and stationary, and even sun was supposed to rotate around earth. So under Puranic literature, you had the various concept under which you had 9 planets that were laid forward, of which the names are from the days of the week that we call from Sunday till Monday. You have the whole 7 days, and each of that was known as, so sun was known as Ravi, moon was known as Monday or Som. You had Mars as Mangal, Mercury as Budh, Jupiter as Brihaspati, Venus as Shukra, Saturn as Shani, so based on Shanivar. So those were the 7 planets that were named. Besides these, there were 2 more planets which were known as Rahu and Ketu. Now this Rahu and Ketu have later formed the part of Indian astrological sciences. Now under Rig Veda, it was given that you have sun, you have moon, 5 planets and 27 constellations that were discovered during the Rig Vedic period. If it comes to earth, when we talk about earth, eclipses were considered as a major part during that time, and it was believed that eclipses were inauspicious. Even specifically, if both solar eclipse and lunar eclipse fall during the same period, they were further inauspicious. Now, if the eclipse comes in the month of Posh, that is December, it would lead to famine. In April, it would lead to good rainfall. However, in March and June, it would be considered inauspicious. Similarly, the facts related to the size of the earth, the dimension of the earth were highly accurate. Then you had the concept of latitudes and longitudes that were given. The latitudes were known as Akshantar and the longitudes were known as Deshantar. And there were three lines that were explained. The equatorial line, and this equatorial line was known as Nirakdesh, which was known as the hell. Then you had the North Pole and the South Pole. Now North Pole was known as Meru, South Pole was known as Antipode or Nadir, and this Nadir was the antipode of the North Pole, and it was considered the easternmost side is the land of God, similar to the European contribution, similar to the Arab scholars what they believed. Indian scholars also believe that the easternmost part of the continent was the place where gods actually reside, and it was considered the land of gods. Then under Rigved, 4 directions were given: Uttar, Dakshin, Purab, Paschim, that's the north, south, east and west. So you had north, south, east and west. During the later Puranic period, 2 more directions were added, which were vertically up and down, which were known as Nadir and Meru. Meru on the top, Nadir on the bottom. And then later on you had 10 directions that had come up. So along with this 4 direction and the 2 directions, you had 4 more directions: the southeast, southwest, northwest and northeast, of which northeast was known as Ishan, and this Ishan cone is considered auspicious till date, even in the various literature which is prevalent today. Vayavai was the northwest cone, then you had the southeast which was known as Agneya, and southwest that was known as Netriya, and each of these directions had a ruling deity which was there. So Purva was considered as Indra, Agneya was considered from Agni, and so on. Now next was Bhukamp or earthquakes were mentioned during that time, and it was explained that there exists a vacuum between the earth and the heaven, and this vacuum was then known as Antariksh. However, it was still not clear this Antariksh is whether space or atmosphere. So that question was not answered during the Vedic period, or the ancient Indian scholars could not answer that. However, they gave the thickness of the atmosphere, which was 12 yojans, and 1 yojan was 8 kilometers, so it was totally 96 kilometers in height. Under Rigved there were 5 seasons that were laid down. Under Ramayana there were 6 seasons. These were Basant, which is spring, Grishma, which is summer, Varsha, that is rainy, Sharad, which is autumn, Hemant, which is winter, and Shishir, which is severe winter. So